Hi there. So the Kimi K3 model has really taken up the entire world by storm. And there is a good reason for that. When you look at all of the benchmark scores and compare the model's performance against some of the top tier models like Fable 5 or GPT 5.6, the Kimi K3 model comes at par or somewhat close to these models' performance. And the great thing is that it is an open weight model. In fact, just a few days ago, the official open weights were launched on Hugging Face. Now, of course, if you're trying to run this model on your own, it requires a lot of compute, but we'll cover how you can use it for agentic coding with your favorite coding harness like Claude Code today. But a bit about the architecture. So it's a 2.8 trillion parameter model with a 1 million token context window. It also supports long horizon coding and agentic workloads. So it's really great for agentic tasks and agentic coding. And it has native multimodality. So that means it can understand text, images, and videos within the entire model's architecture. So you can take a look at that architecture here on the Hugging Face repository for the model. But of course, let's say if you want to try this model in a coding environment and you want to run it on your own, so you can use inference providers like the Nebius Token Factory, and it's really easy to get started. So once you have created your account on Nebius Token Factory, you just have to use this OpenAI compliant API format. You define what model you want to use. So here you can see the model is Moonshot Kimi K3, and the pricing is $3 for 1 million input tokens and $15 for 1 million out. So if you see that even the pricing is actually pretty nice when compared to Fable or 5.6 Stone. Now, in order to put this into test, we'll also show how you can actually incorporate this model using Nebius Token Factory with Claude Code. Now, of course, usually you would have Claude Code and you'll have to use a Claude subscription. But this is a tool that I built, which is called as Nebius TF Relay. And here, by this one single command, you can actually create a local relay that basically points your favorite agent harness, such as Claude Code, Codex, OpenCode, or PyCode, to models that will be supported by the Nebius Token Factory. So you just copy this particular command and paste it into your terminal. We'll just do that in a while and you'll be set. And all of the models that you see will be all of the open source models. So you don't need to have an active subscription of Anthropic. So we are going to build a full stack application with the help of Insforge, which is an all-in-one open source backend platform for agentic coding. So Insforge will provide you things such as database, authentication, storage, real-time functions, a model gateway to ship full stack apps. And it has really great integration with agentic development tools. So you'll see that during the onboarding process. So whether you want to use a CLI or you want to connect it with the MCP tools, it gives you access to your coding agent, all of the tools required to build your application with the help of Insforge, and you can pick whatever framework you want. And here are some of the core products. So you get authentication with proper user sessions, OAuth, JWT, you get a database such as Postgres, vector search with PG Vector, you get S3 compliant file storage, a model gateway, so you can add AI capabilities into the model and the model gateway will actually handle it for you. You can also deploy the entire site with the help of sites, and you get compute for long running tasks as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we are going to see that once we create a new account inside of Insforge and we create a new project, so you can see like if we navigate here, all of these different tools, right? So if we go here to the install section, this is the project that I have currently, you can see all of the things that are happening here. I can just click on install, and in Claude Code, it will show me a command that we'll use. But before that, we'll also see how we can actually use Nebius TF Relay to actually use the token factory model. So in this case, we want to use Kimi K3 with the help of Claude Code. So for that, we'll just copy this one single command, which is the curl command. We'll go over to our terminal and we'll just type the command here and it will install Nebius Relay. And now I can just type nclaude, which will open Claude Code by relaying it with the help of Nebius Token Factory. And if I look at the default model here, so you can see that the default model is Kimi K3, and I'll set that as the model. And now, in order to set up Insforge with Claude Code, it's very simple. Just click on this button here for the prompt, which has our ID and our project ID. And as soon as you just do that, it will follow these instructions, and then it will set up Insforge for us. Now, while it is doing, let's also look at what we are going to build. So we are going to build a full stack application that can review a user's presentation. It will give it feedback by side, what slide and how it looks like. So an AI will actually give you a proper review of your slide deck and overall analysis of what you should improve in your slide deck. So we'll have 4 different phases in which we are actually going to build this application with the specific prompt that we'll use. So the phase 1 will be just actually building the front end. Here you can see that Insforge is all set And now we can actually begin to use. So if you also look at the specific skills here, so you'll find that we can find specific Insforge skills that are all of them here. So, there is like Insforge, CLI, debug integrations, all of these are built in that we can directly use. We are going to say that we have to build this front end with a modern SaaS product called DeckLens. These are going to be the pages in our application. And let's go ahead and use mock data with a fake 12-slide deck that will be used. So this is our input prompt. And now we'll let Claude Code powered by the Kimi K3 model that's coming from Nebius Token Factory actually build this for us, and we will continue to let it function. So we'll use the CLI from Insforge and use appropriate tools to actually build out this application, and that will all reflect in our project here inside of this particular domain. This is what we actually get. So this is the deck that has been created by our model. This is the deck lens, and this is just purely the front end right now. So if we click on review, of course, right now it won't work directly. Now our next phase will be for our backend. So this is where we'll want to have our sign up with the ability to upload a deck. We store that deck into our storage bucket from Insforge, and also have our tables. And the specific features that we'll use from Insforge here are going to be the auth, the database, the storage, and the SDK and the CLI link. Proper auth for email sign up, verification, tables, and all of that. So this is our next prompt. So here we'll have the auth, the database. Environments here will now work on this particular phase 2. What the phase 2 now looks like, now we'll have the capability to actually sign in to DeckLens, and also the ability to actually create an account, and it will send a verification code. So now it has put in the entire workflow for the user sign up and the ability to actually upload a deck as well. Next phase, we want the ability for an AI model gateway to actually render all of the pages of our deck slide by slide and give it feedback for each of the slide. So here we are going to use the custom compute. So this is the background worker that will actually run. So as you upload the PDF or multiple slides, you can at least run a long running worker to actually do that for you. And the AI model will actually process each and every slide and give it a score, give it a critique on what can be better. And all of that will be handled with the help of the custom compute and the AI model gateway offered by Insforge. Here is our prompt. So we are going to have the custom processing pipeline with the help of Insforge custom compute, where we'll download the PDF from storage, render into PNG, and then call a multi-model model from the Insforge model gateway and run the analysis on top. So now let's take a look how our application actually looks like. So here we are on our deck lens, and we have already logged in, and we get the option to actually upload a deck. So let's choose that option and upload a new deck here. So I've selected this particular presentation, and I'll click on Start Review. So now it will actually upload this particular PDF to Insforge S3 storage, and then it will run a custom compute where it parses all of the different slides, and one by one the AI gateway model will evaluate the slide itself and give feedback on what needs to be improved, and it will give a score, and we'll get that for each and every line. So here you'll see that now our AI model is now starting to read each and every slide. Here you can see that it has started to give a score on each and every section, and also gives you a detailed review. Next section, what we are going to do is, and for the phase 4, we'll actually use the sites where we also get proper deployment, and we'll be able to leverage that to get our final website that will be available for us. So that I've already done prior as well. So if I go back to Insforge here, in one of the previous projects that I had already built, which was this one, a deployed live link. In the phase 4 would be telling the model, use Insforge to deploy the site, and it will be live. Particular one is already live, and you can see here that in sites it's already connected, and you can go to this particular link and you'll be able to find the deck. So I already had it review one deck, and it gave the overall score here, and you can see the real-time benchmark on what scored it particular deck. So every single slide has been given a particular score with proper review, suggestions on what you should make the changes in. And all of this was done without having any knowledge of full stack applications with the help of Insforge here. And all of this was done with the help of the Kimi K3 model, which is a really performant model. And you can use it with the help of Nebius Token Factory, or of course, if you don't want to use Claude Code, you can also run this model in Codex, OpenCode, or PyCode, whatever your coding harness of your choice. And this shows that how easily open source models today perform very well and very close to some of these frontier models that charge almost 1.5 or 2 times the price of what you'll pay with the Kimi K3 model, giving that same kind of agentic capabilities. So that is a quick overview of how you can use Kimi K3 model with the help of the Nebius Token Factory using Nebius Relay and build a full stack application with the help of Insforge in a matter of a few minutes. So thanks for watching.